Hello, everyone. My guest today is Dharmesh Singh. He's a lifelong learner who's looking to add value to every relationship he touches. He co-founded FullCast.io with Bala in 2017 to transform how go-to-market operations are done based off his prior experience scaling ops at Salesforce and Microsoft. Dharmesh, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, sure.
All right. So help me understand the space you're playing is. Is this sort of a pure play SaaS company in the RevOps space?
That's correct. We intend to be the platform between CRM systems and financial planning systems.
Specific to any niche, SaaS companies, for example, or for anybody?
No, we've got customers across SaaS and outside SaaS as well. So our niche is essentially anybody that have a large enterprise sales teams that have the notion of territories and segments and multiple roles in the selling that are involved in selling motion. So we intend to streamline all of that.
And who do you feel like you're replacing, or how are they solving the current need that you're solving? What are they using to do it?
Yeah, so the basic problem that planning is extremely manual. That's done in Excel spreadsheets by sales strategy folks, and that never gets visibility on the ops side of the house. So ops is executed in CRM systems manually through custom code or through IT support. And so our new view is that as companies scale and change cycles get shorter, the loop between planning and execution needs to get streamlined, and it needs to be always on, right? So we need to take planning out of Excel into a SaaS-based platform that's always connected to the CRM systems. And it reflects and stays in sync with all the changes that are happening on top of CRM. People are leaving the company, people get promoted all the time. Sales, as companies evolve, is enforcing and defining new runtime policies all the time, right? Mm-hmm. My routing policies change. Who gets to own accounts change, depending on the account status. It might be an account manager, it could be a CSM. All those are runtime policies that need to get enforced, and that stuff is done either through custom code or depending on IT. So we are essentially building this platform so teams can have a no-code experience where they can come in and build a plan, click on a button, push the plan into execution, and then keep it sync all the time. So,
and Dharmesh, when these teams fall in love with you and they really integrate you, what do they start paying on average per month?
Our average deal size across customers is about $70K for the year right now. And that's the average. We've got some customers that have started with only about 20 reps, and they're as low as $30K. We got customers at 600 reps, and they're all the way up to 150, 200K.
Yep. Okay, got it. So your upsell revenue and your expansion opportunities right now purely based off number of seats?
Number of people as well as modules. So depending on, are you looking for territory segmentation? Are you looking for quota? Are you looking for other planning, headcount planning? So all those different modules.
And take me back to sort of day one, right? So when did you found the company?
We founded the company end of 2016. We left Salesforce in December of 2016 to go work on this full time.
And who's we? And how many founders?
Me and my partner Bala, the two of us. We were at Salesforce. We worked at Microsoft. So we've been together for about 14 years, and then we decided to bail.
And was this an internal need you saw? Like, how did you know this was a problem?
So we had experience planning at Microsoft, which was a 6-month process. And Bala and myself, we were part of the sales planning customer for life team at Salesforce, dealing with 1,500 sheets being sent to 400 managers, August to February. And so we started looking at solutions internally to start streamlining the process. And we looked at tools like Anaplan out there, and none of them could meet the need of what we ended up doing. Then Bala and his team built a prototype version internally for Salesforce, and we felt that I think there's a need for this in the mid-market, that we should go out and build a platform dedicated to this function.
Mm-hmm. Now, how did you guys get the initial capital to get the thing going?
Hustle. No, initially when we left, we built a business around services and to scale SMB customers and get them to start getting more robust around sales operations. And while we built that cash flow engine, we were prototyping our basic MVP out there. and then we raised a little amount of seed funding in June 2018, and doubled down on building the platform.
Moved how much was that round for in 2018?
2.75.
Okay.
Yeah, and we then built the platform, moved to the mid-market segment, and switched over from a services to a SaaS only business. And we launched the product
in what year?
February 2019.
So you turned off all services and switched to pure SaaS in 2018 or 2019?
Correct. 2019.
Okay, got it. And so this is obviously a great way to build a SaaS company, right? So to deal with the cash flow and the initial code getting developed, to just do consulting in the space that you're going to end up, solving problems for anyway. What did you grow revenue to in 2018 on the agency and sort of services side?
About $1 million on agency.
Mm-hmm. And today, none of your revenue comes from that, though, correct?
Correct. None of it comes from revenue. So we ejected all those services customers. We moved to pure product, and product when we started at the end of that transition was close to about $500,000 still, because we converted those services customers onto the platform.
So sorry, just to be clear, are you saying in 2019 you ended with a run rate SaaS only of about $500,000?
Correct.
I see. And what do you think you'll close this year at?
Close to 1.3, 1.4.
Okay. So healthy growth. Where's most of the growth coming from? Is it upselling new seats and modules, or new logos altogether?
It's new logos, and it's change of ICP. So we sell to customers like MongoDB, Udemy, essentially the mid-market space, Auth0. So we've got essentially net new customers because we just ejected out of the SMB into the mid-market completely.
How many total paying customers today?
15.
And how many did you finish last year with?
Last year, we finished with about 8.
8. Okay, interesting. And so talk to me about some of the economics. You've only raised the 2.7, or did you decide to raise more capital?
We are looking to raise some capital now.
How much?
We've been very focused. So we are raising we're not ready for a Series A yet, so we're just raising on a note. About $1 million to $2 million is what we think we need for the next 12 to 18 months. So because that plus the revenue coming in from customers should allow us to really start investing and hiring more people that we need to support the growth of customers.
How many people are on the team today total?
10.
How many engineers?
We've got 10 FTEs plus contract employees. So if you were to sort of mix the contract and the FTEs, you got about 9 engineers.
Okay, got it. How many of the engineers are full-time, or are none of them full-time?
So we got 4 full-time.
4 full-time. Okay, got it. And at this level, have you hired your first sales rep, or are you still doing most of the selling?
No, we have a dedicated salesperson. We hired him as an SDR. We learned the ropes, learned about the problem space, and then he's graduated into a full cycle AE role
with quota.
And so, too early for quota. Right now, it's between him and us. The quota is, whatever the company's number is, with 1.3 is what we want to hit. I do help. I get involved in sales. I help him with that, but we don't have any official quota.
Yep. No, that makes sense. Now, if you go raise on a note, call it $1 to $2 million, obviously you want to minimize any amount of dilution. What cap would you try and raise at?
We're raising at a 15 million cap. It's a safe note.
Okay, got it. Yeah, interesting. And the first 2.7 was on a safe as well?
No, that was an equity priced round.
How does that work? How do you go? Usually you start with the safe, then it converts at the next equity round. You're sort of going backwards, equity round and then safe. Why do that?
We're looking at the safe note more as a bridge financing because we don't want to roll to a Series A till we go past $2 million in ARR. Mm-hmm. And so the thing we are trying to balance is we've got customers signing up, and we need to hire in customer success. We need to hire another additional SDR. And you have 2 options. Either you continue hiring just on demand, just in need kind of time based on the customer growth, or you invest a little ahead of time to plan for the growth, right? And so if you're going to invest a little ahead of time, more in finishing some of the engineering work that needs to get done, everything else, then you you need a little money, not a whole lot. And if you can get past $2.5 billion, you're better suited to do a much larger Series A at that point of time.
And Dharmesh, when you raised the 2.7 million in 2018, what valuation was that at?
We did it at 10 pre.
And how did you? What the pitch for that? Besides it sounds like you have a great track record. That's probably most of it. But how did you, when you shared the P&L with those VCs, and you said this is all agency revenue? How did you make sure you prevented them from going, we're not giving you that big valuation. This is all agency revenue. How'd you make your agency revenue an asset versus a liability?
They saw what they saw was the MVP, the prototype, and so they had a clear understanding of the product itself, because we had already prototyped the MVP. We had kind of taking some of our services customers and started moving them to the platform already. So it was like, okay, how big is the market? There's a huge market. We're going after this. We think it's at least, if not anything, it's at least a $10 billion market. Our view is we're building a net new platform. There is no platform for ops, and we see this huge rise of RevOps, which is essentially a title, but with underlying point tools, there is no platform, right? And so we want to be a platform, much like Marketo was for marketing automation, and Salesforce is for CRM. There needs to be a platform for revenue organizations end to end.
Mm-hmm. And talk to me about this raise. Obviously, when you raise capital, you're planning for a certain amount of runway to get to your 2 million in revenue. How much net burn are you putting out right now monthly?
We are almost cash flow neutral.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's pretty good. So you don't really necessarily need to raise. You haven't made those hires yet that would contribute to burn.
So that is what I meant when I said that. For us, we could either just hire in time as we bring on customers, and we have a ratio for that, or in some cases we need to hire ahead. Like engineering is an investment.
Yep.
Some sales is an investment you're making for the head. So like we know we're growing, we need to invest in those areas, and so the decision is: do we stall that investment and just do it, peanut butter it as customer revenue comes in, or we just take a little more money and invest in that growth?
A lot of folks listening right now launch their MVP with an outsourced dev team. They realize at some point they want to bring that in-house. You're doing this right now. Help me explain the challenges of that transition.
You need to have the processes built internally to be able to insource. Also, it helps when you've been working with the outsourced partner consistently, because you've built some repository of knowledge that you don't want to lose. Right. And so our goal is to not go for a company, but we want to bring the same people on FTE roles because they have subject matter expertise.
So you'd hire them out of the agency to join you full time.
Correct. Yeah.
How do you do that without pissing off the agent, or how do you pull them away from the agency?
So that is a great question. So when we started up with the agency, we started with that principle clearly defined. So essentially, they're, for all practical purposes, they're full-time employees, and because they work only for us. We set up that structure. We just didn't want to deal with the structure of putting in an office and registering an office and all the stuff in the new place. So we said, you guys can do this on your own over here. We'll pick that battle up later.
That's great. Dharmesh, on that note, let's wrap up here with the famous 5. Number 1, favorite business book?
Good to Great.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
I love the Atlassian CEOs, both of them. Scott, I've tracked him for a while, and I agree with his values and I agree with the way he's built a company. So yeah, there are lots of great CEOs, but yes, Atlassian is top of mind for me.
And if you guys want to learn more from Atlassian, we just had their CRO, Carmen Dush, on the show. I guess it was 2 weeks ago. You can check it out at getlaka.com. Learn more about their growth from high volume, low ARPU, low touch to ARPU expansion, enterprise sales motion now today. Number 3, Dharmesh, what's your favorite online tool for building your company?
Favorite online tool for building our company? We love Basecamp. We love Google Chat. Those are the 2 tools that we depend on. We run our entire company on that, actually.
Number 4, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
About 6.
And situation, married, single, kids?
Married with 2 college-going kids.
Oh, great. And how old are you?
I am 50.
50. Last question. What's something you wish you knew when you were 20?
I wish somebody had told me I should get started sooner on this entrepreneurial journey. But I think that'll be it.
Guys, FullCast.io playing in the RevOps space. They're ex-Salesforce folks, launched in 2016, built $1 million worth of agency revenue to fund the change over to pure SaaS in 2019. Now have 15 customers paying average ACVs of $70,000 a year. Very much an enterprise sales motion, doing 1.4 million in ARR to date as they look to continue to scale. Raised 2.7 million back in 2018 at a 12 million post-money valuation. Team of 10 today, 4 engineers in-house, 1 quota-carrying, one sales rep who's an AE as they look to scale out that team. And starting with the head of engineering, they're going to try and raise here another round, call it in the next 3 to 6 months, targeting a $1 to $2 million node on a 15 cap. We'll see what happens. Dharmesh, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thank you.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers, they try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.